Hey YouTube, this is another video about the Focal B twins, and the title, as you saw, I have here the Focal Twin B review 6 months in, and my thoughts about them. How do they sound? Have they gotten better? Has my ears perceived a better sound stage clarity than the previous speakers that I talked about that I had, whether it be the Adams or the Yamaha HS80s. So this is going to be a quick update after about 6-7 months that I last talked to you about them. So in addition, I wrote a list of questions that I was asked, that I hopefully will make clear to you what I think. And it might also help other people who have focal speakers to say, oh, yeah, that's what I hear, or that's what I feel. So we're going to do this real quick. And I wrote a list. So let's go with the first question that I wrote down. I always get, well, how do they sound? And my answer is greater than I expected. Based on the other speakers I've had or have listened to, when I listen to them and I go up in steps, if cost and engineering, I hear more detail, I guess more space, if you will, more mid-range response or detailed highs and things like that. So when I say they sound great or better, I hear more of those things with these Focal Bs, but I hear them almost in a way that I can only explain as they sound like what I perceive as real music. Like studio speakers are supposed to be revealing and have a more of a flat response. Yes. But in addition to that, they're pleasing to listen to. You know, don't get me wrong, like when I do have the time to come in here and record or to just make the music that I do, it does reveal like the harshness if you're using too much of one thing or another, and also if you use too much reverb or etc. You hear it earlier than you would on, let's say, a speaker that's less revealing or less detailed, right? So when I say greater than expected, they do more of what you expect to me at this price range than would say something that's twice the amount. It might be better at twice the amount of money, but for what I can afford or what I feel as a level of detail, this is way there where I feel as though I can do all the things that I need to do in terms of recording, editing, mixing. These more than fit the bill for me, right? So that was question number one on how do they sound. The second question that I'm speaking on is how's the bass? Because we always want to know, well, how does the bass sound? You know, however important the bass may be to most of us, as you progress in your music recording and such, the bass is very important. Don't get me wrong, but that mid to high and high is really important when you're dealing with overall sound stage and so forth. But because we're just talking about bass, we'll deal with that more than anything. So how does the bass sound? The bass from these speakers, they're rated supposedly go down to like 35, if I'm not correct. The bass on these are really tight. They're really tight. It's really fast. And when I say fast, when you hear the music, coming out, and the tweezers are really quick, of course, that bass is right on phase with it. When that tweeter hits, when that click and that bass is supposed to be together, it's right there. They're right on the same